This is the picture of the Grand Champion buck for ABGA 2011. He is a gorgeous, absolutely beautiful buck. This shows the type of things that ABGA judges are looking for in the head, especially in this Roman nose extended in there, and the horns that curl right back. What they're looking for is a symmetrical curve right here. The problem we have with any of this look like that, and why we don't like it, went to ABGA 2000 Boer Goats 101, where the speaker was going to go through all the features and said all the features were justified, that they were just not thrown in there for looks. When they got to the Roman nose, I asked the speaker what the value of the Roman nose was, and he ended up basically saying it had no value other than for look of a strong head. The concern people have with this is if this is bred to make the nose grow out longer this way, then the possibility of the end of the upper part of the jaw is not going to grow out as fast. While the bottom part is continually grow straight, it potentially can cause the bad mouth. That's one of the concerns with Boer goats. That's one of the reasons the Kiko standards have the Roman nose as a cull. The other thing, when they got to the horns, I asked the justification for the horns coming back so close in this, and the point again was, well, it really wasn't a value to the goat itself. It's the ennobled, strong look of this curve right here. My concern is how much value is being put into show rings for this particular look that has no value in the meat goat itself. And when we talk about the horns, you're going to see that there are negative parts to this. The Roman nose, the more that you make that Roman, we hear many theories that can also be causing the results of bad mouths as they get older. This is the horns on our new buck Chocolat. We didn't buy him because of the way his horns was. We don't care for that, but he has a lot of other good values, and will breed to have kids that'll have their horns wider apart. The concerns on this whenever we first started going through judging school, they wanted to make sure that there was room in between these horns so that a hoof would not get caught in that. The problem gets to be, they want the horns, the standards want the horns to come back on that neckline and then slowly go away. Right here is where the problem is. Legs get in between this horn and the neck, and the leg cannot get out. That's where they get severely injured or break a leg. We had a leg broken last year. On this right here, you can see he's starting to have the horns rub on his neck. That's not bad, but you don't need those horns coming like that. We've known of ennobled animals and many others that have had to cut the horns because it starts rubbing on the neck, gets the neck infected from rubbing so hard, and prevents the neck from prevents the head from being able to turn as much. There is no reason whatsoever for those horns being that close together. Go over here, and this is another new buck coming. This is bred from how we like the horns to be. You see, there's absolutely no way for a leg to get hung between that horn and the neck. That is great to have those horns coming out like that. The next part is when they're young and you have typical field fencing that has the 6-inch square or whatever it is. With this kind of horn, when it's young, they can get their head through there, but then the horns prevent the head from coming back out. On this way, whenever you have that, those horns start widening out very fast, and they're going to be unable to get their horns through that square at a much earlier age, so you have less chance of the heads getting hung in the fence. Last part on this, this is not a bad one, but what we've had people tell us is you can take a rasp or file or whatever and start to shape these horns to go back towards the neck. We've had judges tell us that when we were showing Painted Warrior and War Dancer, and they're telling us to artificially shape the horns to look like what they want rather than what they naturally have. Another thing they will do is put weights on the end of the horns to make them start to go down and curve. We are absolutely against cheating like that, and we do not want that kind of a look. So we stay with the look of the wide horns, moving away from the head and the neck as fast as possible, and that has benefits where having horns genetically like this has big negatives towards it. We will breed him with does. They will spread those horns out and look more like what we want. We absolutely will not go along with these kind of standards.